Hey guys, what's happening? I thought I'd do a little video for you, just talking about the Bullet My Valentine concert that I went to last night. So I'm not sure when I'm going to be putting this out. It might be on the Saturday at this point. I went to see them over at Manchester, Victoria O2 Warehouse. And oh my God, what a show. I thought what I'd do is share some of my thoughts and concert experiences with you, and also show you the vlog that I did. I've never done a vlog before. I asked if some of you guys would like to see that, and you said yes, so I recorded as much footage as I possibly could from me leaving my place here to driving down there, getting to the gig. Got loads of footage of the gig, or rather as much as I could, because it was one hell of a rowdy show. Before I go any further, guys, just one thing I want to let you know. I've done a full album reaction, okay? That's on my channel. I did it as a live stream, so that's all there for you to watch before you want to watch this maybe, or afterwards. I listened to every single song. It's the first time I was hearing the music. Today I've woke up all sore and my neck hurts and stuff, and my voice was, you know, like a little bit croaky and stuff from singing and stuff. But if you want to go and watch my full album reaction, that's there on YouTube for you. It'd probably be the video just before this one. I hope you enjoy this, and let's start right at the beginning. So this was actually a surprise birthday present for me from my other half. I didn't realize she'd gone and booked this for me. So I've been excited for, as a matter of fact, when I only got the present or found out that I was going in October. So it's quite a short period, you know. It's like, oh, I'm going in a couple of weeks, you know. So there hasn't been like a year or a couple of months of me waiting for this thing. It's been kind of imminent. And yeah, so Bullet My Valentine. It's my first time seeing them on their own headline tour. Seen them at Slam Dunk in 2019 when they headlined there. But this is a completely different gig experience compared to what Slam Dunk was, right? So let's start at the bottom. So we got the highlights of the show. So we had Bleed From Within support them, who are absolutely amazing band. They're from Glasgow, Scotland. And right from the get-go, I was pretty close to the front, okay? And I always like to be at the front or as close as possible at concerts. I'm basically not happy unless I'm on stage with the band, because I just like the full experience. Some people are happy hanging back and stuff, but I just want to be in it. And, you know, so I got as close as I could to the front. Bleed From Within came out, 6 songs. Pathfinder is an absolute banger of a song. I've been listening to their stuff quite a bit on the build up to this show, while I've been like doing work and bits and bobs. Sat here, I've always just like put that last record or the newest record on, listen to that, and to just at least get myself acquainted with the band, because they're quite a new band for me. And hands down, great band. That breakdown in Pathfinder, if you haven't listened to them, just go check it out. And if anything, just go listen to Pathfinder and go listen to the breakdown. It's cool because they're like a I don't know, they're kind of, there's a modern kind of sound going on with them, but it's thrashy. There's a lot of like 80s thrash going on in there as well. Super cool band. Highlight of the show. I'll backtrack here. While we were queuing up, there was a guy about, I don't know how tall he was. He was built like a tank, and he was so tall. Now, I'm not a tall guy myself, so imagine how tall this guy was to me. But I mean, like, my friend Lewis, who was with me, who you'll see in the vlog, like, he's a tall fella. And this guy, like, dwarfed him. He was massive. And I was like, Christ, that's a big guy. I had this big top on saying Pit Troll. So what's going on? Right? Because there was kind of like a bit of attention around him, because he was just like this big guy and he was in the pit and having a good time and stuff. And on the last song, Bleed From Within played, this guy comes like wading through the crowd. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, he's like wading. It's just like, no way is he going to get in front of me and stand there for the entire gig. Otherwise, I just wouldn't have seen anything, right? So like, what's going on? He's wading himself through, and he's like, he's getting past me. He's like, I need to get in front of you. Just move out the way. Next thing, singer from Bleed From Within jumps down, okay, to the stage, grabs my hand, and starts like pulling himself up onto the barrier. Next thing, this tall guy's behind me, right? And this guy, the singer's like climbing over me, like, and I'm like pushing him up. And he gets on the guy's shoulders and like goes out into the crowd to finish the song with the mic and like singing and stuff on this guy's shoulders, right? So that's obviously, that must have been some sort of like pre-arranged thing, I guess. Because like you could see him when I saw him coming forward, and the singer was just sort of like looking like, yeah, I need to get out there now, sort of thing. So when he jumped down and he just like grabbed my hand, I was like, yeah, this is great. You know, I didn't expect to be doing that. That's absolutely awesome. So that's one of the highlights of the gig for me. Next came Tesseract. Okay, where do I start with this? I'm not a Tesseract fan, and there was a lot of people in that audience who were not Tesseract fans. And there's a difference between not being a fan and just sitting through the music, waiting for the band you're going to see come on, and then there's being rude. And they didn't have a good reception at all in Edinburgh. So Tesseract were, like I said, the reception was bad, and there was a small group of people who were really enjoying their stuff, and they were at the front. But there was people like heckling them and like throwing stuff and like shouting at them and like in the middle of the songs, and it's like, don't you know they can't hear you? They've got ear monitors in them. They're blasting this loud music out. They can't hear you. So what is the point in like shouting at abuse at them? And to be fair, Tesseract are a talented band. I'm not going to take that away from them, like the odd time signatures and all that stuff. I'm not going to take that away from them. But the rude people who were shouting and stuff, it's just not on, in my opinion. You know, and that band have probably got more talent in their middle fingers than a lot of the people who were like just going like, "Oh, you're rubbish" and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, not cool, man. And there was somebody next to me doing it, and I was kind of just stood there like, oh, please, don't look at me. Don't look at me. It's not me, I promise. So they were what they were. And then the really cool thing that happened for me was just before Bullet came on, I think. I got a tap on the shoulder. And if you're watching this, you know who you are. I turned around, a guy was like, I feel like I know you. And I was like, yeah, hi. And he's like, do you run a YouTube channel? I was like, yeah, Nihilist92, that's me. He's like, oh, I subscribe to you. I watch your videos and stuff. And it was like, I don't know. That's the first time I've really like met any of you guys. You know, apart from a couple of people that I know, obviously, from when I first started doing this. But that was just like super cool. And if you're watching this, thank you for like, you know, shaking my hand. And we shared the gig together. We were stood next to each other for like the entire time, which was really cool. Even though we were all sort of like getting battered. And I'll get onto that a little bit later about the crowd. So yeah, that was cool to just meet one of you guys. And and I'll come around again and just say to all of you guys, thank you so much for your continued support on this endeavor of mine. And we can all enjoy like the music we enjoy and stuff like that. I'm having an absolute blast doing this. But if you're watching this, guy from the crowd that I met, I've completely forgot your name, even though I asked for it. And you did tell me. I'm so sorry I've forgotten your name, but it was cool meeting you. And yeah, it just made the experience even cooler. So by the time Bullet My Valentine came on, at that point, the crowd was like pushing forward, and I'd got myself to the front during Tesseract. The crowd broke up, and there was some crowd surfing going on, and I'd managed to get myself to the front. I was like literally at the barrier, which was awesome. I wanted to be as close as possible. I did not expect to be on the front row. You'll see in the footage like how close I was. And yeah, what can I say? Hey, it's Bullet My Valentine. It was. I don't want to say it was an emotional experience, but this last year when I started doing this and I started this channel and I started doing music seriously again, even though like I do a lot of different bands on this channel, one thing I want to just say, this is not an exclusive Bullet for My Valentine channel, even though I do a lot of their stuff and I talk about them a hell of a lot, right? Maybe too much, right? And I have the guitars and I do their covers and I do their song lessons and stuff like that. It's a big time of the year, obviously, with the album release as well. You know, this is not just a Bullet My Valentine channel, but it is kind of like an ongoing theme throughout it, right? And it's like this last year, it's like come sort of like full circle. And from the beginning, when it was like I lost my job at the start of the pandemic, and I started to do music again, and I didn't know what I was going to do and if it was going to be well received and stuff. It was emotional to the degree of like, man, it's come full circle. Now I'm hearing these songs live, and we're here with the band, and we didn't think we were going to see live music for ages because of what's gone on. So, and some of the songs, they hit deep. I won't lie, and some of it was just straight up nostalgia. Tears Don't Fall, Waking the Demon, Screaming Fire. But then songs like Rainbow Veins, well, like the lyrical content is just like, man, that's heavy stuff right there, you know. And seeing it perform live, you know, and me just thinking about listening to these songs for the first time and then like getting my head into them for covers and then filming them, and now I'm watching them play them. It come in full circle. It was just quite a what's the expression I want to use here? It was just quite the experience for me, and it's quite a heavy experience, but a really good experience for me. So I'm going to pull up the track list here and just go through some of the songs they played. So the band came out with Parasite, which is an absolute monster song. It was just nuts seeing that one perform live. They didn't hang around. They played the intro track, okay, which is on the record. Matt just came up with that awesome Gibson Explorer that he's had built for him, that custom build. Next thing, the first line happened, and he yelled into the microphone, into the riff. It's like, it's happening. Crowd went nuts. That crowd was the rowdiest crowd I've ever seen. Bear in mind, it's like Slipknot, Behemoth show and stuff like that. And Slipknot, you get like rowdy crowds and stuff. Never had anything like it. Slam Dunk was nothing like this. Crowd surfing, I've never seen anything like it. And I was constantly having to dip and dive people because all the guards at the front, the security and stuff like that, just whacking my monitors here because I'm getting excited, right? Chill down. Can you tell I had a good time? There was like a wall of like security at the front, like these really big tankish guys. And like every now and then you'd see him like going, like tapping the other one going. And like it would always be by me because I was at the center in front of Matt. And these people always coming over my head. Right, so you'd see him like tapping, like, and I'd be like, ah, and I'd have to like look behind and like you'd have to like move the people over and like help the guards like get them over. Fair play to those guards, and I just want to take a moment to say that is not an easy job. One of them got absolutely covered in blood from somebody, and they're having to pull people out who are like injured and stuff. There was a couple of those people as well who got like hurt. Fair play to them for doing like such a good job of like keeping everybody safe and like being so on it. They're like watching the crowd constantly for people coming over, looking after us guys. It's a rowdy show. We're there for a good time, but at the end of the day, it is rowdy. People get hurt. So I just want to say full marks to those guys for being so on it and like pulling people out and like watching people. Like they kept coming over to like people who've been like banged up on the front and stuff. And they go over to them and they keep checking them saying, are you all right? Do you need to come out? If you need to come out, we'll lift you out. It's fine, kind of thing. So full marks to those guys. Fair play. So yeah, Parasite, it popped off. It went absolutely crazy. So then they moved into Over It. Bounce, the crowd bouncing up and down. More crowd service. I thought once they got it out their system, it would stop. But the crowd surfing just continuously, should I say, just kept going on and on and on and on. Moved into Your Betrayal. Everyone went nuts. Piece of Me, absolutely killer. Rainbow Veins, heavy, man. Heavy hearing that, you know. Matt started that like with sort of like his clean singing and just the atmosphere and the lighting and everything, and the on-screen stuff behind. I don't know, man. There's something about that song that's definitely one of my favorites off the record, without a doubt. I don't know. There's just something about it that just hits me in the chest. Then, Four Words to Choke Upon. Okay, OG, Poison Era. Everyone, crazy. Absolutely nuts. Bear in mind, I wanted to get as much footage for you guys as possible, whilst actually at the same time enjoying the show. I don't want to just be there with a camera constantly in my hand, so I've got little bits and pieces for you. But like, for a song like Four Words, when it went nuts, it was so hard to like try and get my phone out and like record and that's happening and get like a straight take for you guys. And obviously I wanted to record it because I want them as memories as well to look back on. And bear in mind, you'll see it on the footage just how close I was. Like, it was just so cool to be so close to the guys. It was such, for me, from my perspective, first person, it was like quite an intimate gig in a way, because I just had them there performing for me, you know. So that was cool. Matt's guitar solo on that's always cool. And then they moved on into Worthless, tank of a song. I took the whole thing in, didn't get any footage of that, I don't think. That song is an outstanding song for me on Venom. Absolute tank of a song. And again, follows the theme with like this album. These songs, they fit with the rest of the new songs. Big tankish slow riffs, that kind of thing. Big vocal lines. And again, the crowd surfing continued. It was just full of me having to look back and dip and dodge, right? Then, I didn't know this one was going to be played so early in the set, but then we had Don't Need You, okay? probably my favorite Bullet song, or one of, up in my top 5 at least, okay? Don't Need You, what can I say about it? It's just all about that chorus, man. It's just all about just the chugging. Matt came out with his snake bite at that point, which is so cool to see him playing the snake bite. You know, it was quite weird at first, because I'm going to look like even more of a fanboy now, even though I've had a white snake bite hanging on the wall behind me for absolute years now. So it's like, not only have I got the other guitars he's used, but now I've got a third one. And yeah, it's going to make me look like even more of a fanboy. But yeah, it was cool to see him rocking away on that. After that, we had Knives, which was, they became a different band at that point. They enjoy playing that so much, and that song is made to be played live. I can't explain it. It's almost like the song doesn't do it justice. On the record, live it's completely different, and Matt is screaming his lungs out live, like, and trading off with Jamie, which is so cool. And that big low chorus riff, da na 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 na. Like, they just became a different band, and you could see how much they were enjoying it. Meanwhile, one thing I do want to say is, it was quite funny, is the entire time you could see Matt smiling as he was singing, like, because of how rowdy the crowd were and people kept coming over. Like, just the look on his face, it was he was just smiling the entire time because of how rowdy it was. After that, we got something that not everybody's had on this tour, which is Under Again. Very cool. That song is like straight up about depression and anxiety. And Matt opened it up and he just said, this song is for you guys. He said it's a bit of a screwed up time to be alive. If you've all had anxiety, depression over this entire period, like he said, I'm there with you, and this song is there for you, you know. And yeah, it was huge. The chorus is massive, and the breakdown, whoa, very cool. He was still on the snake bite at that point for this one, I think. So yeah, it's very cool. Not everybody will get to see that song, I don't think. Not everybody has got to see that song. People didn't even get that song on the Gravity tour. So yeah, that was very special. Then they turned it up with Scream Aim Fire. Now I'm going to ask you one question here. What are the lyrics to Scream Aim Fire? Over the top, over the top. Yeah, and that's precisely what happened. It was like the trenches. The crowd surfing was something beforehand, but at that point it was almost like everybody in the audience came over, and the entire song I was literally just having to bring people over me, like, and then the guards were like leaning on top of me practically. At some points I'd have to just go so low, everything would just go black all of a sudden, you know, because like people just piling on top of you. So yeah, they took that song quite literally, I think. And yeah, that's always a good time. Just a note on that one, that's a D standard song when they recorded it, but they play that song in drop C now, so all the positions have moved. So it's got that extra sort of like gnarliness and a little bit more sort of low end. And it saves them time swapping guitars out and stuff. How they get round it with the other songs going between B and C is they have drop pedals backstage, so they just knock the guitars up and down rather than constantly switching guitars out. So I believe. I would have said the Snakebite would have been in one tuning, and the Gibson Explorer would be in another. But for instance, he played Worthless on the Snakebite. And that's in C tuning, and I'm pretty sure he played Don't Need You and Knives, and which are B songs, and I'm pretty sure he played that on the Snakebite too, so they knock it up and down. You can see it on their videos. They have a drop pedal backstage, Digitech thing, and they'll show you, like, they explain it to you, that's how they knock the guitars up and down. Then they went into the Take It Out on Me solo, which was absolutely epic. I got a little bit, I didn't get as much as I wanted of that dueling guitar solo kind of, well, not dual, but like Iron Maiden harmony guitar solo kind of thing. I wanted to try and capture all of it, but at that point my arms were like this, and to get my phone out of my pocket I was like this, like trying to reach into my jacket. Right, because it was that tight, even at the front where you'd think you'd have room. Plus, if you're filming, you've got to watch out, because if somebody comes over you, your phone is gone if they knock it out of your hand, right? So I got just a tiny bit of that you'll see. Then they went into You Want to Battle, Here's a War. Cool, audience singing their lungs out over that one. Very cool song. The Last Fight, Matt started it with his little sort of like solo section, and there was just like a beam light coming down on him, and he was just like sort of like a very sort of like crisp sounding overdriven tone, and he just sort of sang it on his own without the band. And then for the rest of the song, or they restarted the song after that and then came in for the rest of it, which was really cool. Like I said, it's probably not one of my favorite Bullet songs, but like I'd happily watch it live. It is good fun, and it is good. It's one of those that I don't listen to a whole lot, but when I do, it takes me back to when I first heard Fever. Yeah, and I think that was the first song we heard off of Fever when that was put out, so it's really sort of took me back, so that's cool. Encore, Shatter, massive intro. Okay, the big sort of like fade in, and yeah, that song's a tank. Again, when they're playing these new songs, they just become a different band. They just become I don't know, they just, you can see them really enjoying it, you know, because they're new and they're fresh and stuff. And then they went into Tears Don't Fall. Tears Don't Fall is Tears Don't Fall. You can only imagine what the crowd did at that point, because it's a staple mark. And then they finished with Waking the Demon, which is like a great song to finish on, I guess. Couple of great moments with like catching the band's eye. Like there was a part where Jamie was just kind of hanging out, and I just pointed up at Jamie, and he was just like kind of like, how's it going, man? That was really cool. And then there was a part with like Matt. I was going for it in some of the verses, and when Matt came out, like I was pretty much like, of Parasite, I was like singing, like going for it, right? And I could see him sort of like looking down at me, sort of like nodding and smiling, like because he could see how into it I was, and it was just so cool. Because like I know a lot of you guys have met Bullet My Valentine. I've never met those guys. You know, it's not like the guy would recognize me or anything. You know, just another spoke in the wheel of the many people who are in that audience. You know, it's not about getting to know people or anything, but just the fact that like we had a couple of moments where you're making eye contact and just vibing off of each other. And I had another moment with Padge where I looked up at Padge and just like pointed out, caught his attention. He was just hanging on a cord. I think it was like on the end of Tears Don't Fall or something, just hanging there. And he just sort of like looked at me, and I was just like that. And he's just like, I stuck the tongue out and did the devil horns like that. And he just like, he kind of gave this, that sort of thing to me, which was like really cool. And I just love getting that connection with these guys that I've looked up to for so many years, you know? My friend Lewis, who you'll see on the vlog, we got separated, unfortunately, because I pushed forward to the front and thought he was behind me, but he wasn't, and he got pushed back. And he said in that sort of area of like close to the stage, he said like you couldn't move. He said it wasn't, he loves the pits, right? He loves like mosh pits and all that sort of stuff, but like, he said it wasn't like that good kind of rowdiness. He's like, you literally just could not move. And then there's people coming over. So like he actually went back and like hung out at the bar for the rest of the show. So we got separated for this gig, unfortunately. So there you go. There it is. That's my Bullet My Valentine concert experience. I hope you've enjoyed me waffling on about it. The album, I'm absolutely floored by it. If you want me to do another video talking about it, or after I've lived with it for a little bit, I'll more than happily do that for you guys, because I was surprised. So what I've got for you now is a vlog of the day, okay, itself. So I hope you enjoy it. If the sound quality is not quite there for like the bits and bobs that I captured, just bear in mind how close I was. Yeah, so, but again, I wanted to have something to show you guys, and I've never done a vlog before, so I really hope you enjoy it. And yeah, thank you for tuning in for this video. Thank you so much for your support. Enjoy the next couple of videos that follow, and I guess I'm going to see you in the next one. So cheers, guys. Thank you so much. Hey guys, what's happening? Today is the day we're going to see Bullet My Valentine, so I'm going to be sharing with you some of some footage, some of what's going on throughout the day, the journey down there and stuff. We're going to go and pick up my my best friend Lewis, and we're going to go over to Manchester, get some food, meet up with some other guys who are actually going to a different gig, but we're all going to have some food together, go to the gig. So this is where it's starting, at my house, and so yeah, stick along for the journey, and let's head on down there. Let's go. So it is a freezing cold day here in North Wales. So we're gonna get the heaters blowing away in the car, and yeah, yeah, in case any of you ever wondered where I live, this is Wales. Or part of it anyway. So let's go. Okay, we just picked up my best friend Lewis. And there's Lewis.
Hi.
Say hi. You're famous now. And we're about to head over to Manchester now, so let's get to it. We'll see you there. So any of you guitar nuts, we're in Sam's flat right now, and Sam plays one of these in his band Layer. If anybody saw my my one episode podcast that I put out, he's the guy that I was interviewing, and he's one of my best friends for many years. But yeah, no idea why he's got a card on there, but yeah, it's a cool piece for any like Jim Root fans. EMG loaded, and yeah, but I don't want to ruin anything.
Nah, that's part of the Easter egg, isn't it?
Okay.
Ooh, spoilers.
So there we go. We can say about the card. There's yeah.
It's an Uno reverse.
If you pay attention,
It's an Uno reverse card.
if you pay attention to Sam's band's channel, you'll get to find out why there's a card on his guitar.
Specifically that Uno reverse card.
Specifically that one. There you go. But yeah, it's a nice piece. I like it. Like I said, for any of you Jim Root fans out there, you'll probably dig this. Nice. So we're trying to find the venue, but apparently all of Manchester has decided to just be closed off to pedestrians. So we're trying to get to the other side of the road, but we can't because of all these Harris fences. Okay, let's try this way. Ah. That's better. They did think about us.
Fenced in like animals.
Oh God.
Oh, whoa.
And there's the car. Okay, we'll see you guys at the venue. Are you ready?
Oh God, you know it.
Love recording awkward videos, don't we, Lewis?
No, I don't. I don't at all.
So we're currently queuing to get outside. That's the venue right there. And there's loads of different queues, but I think they're sending us in batches because of like the COVID situation. So yeah, it's absolutely freezing. I've had to strip down, otherwise I'm going to be boiling in there. So I'm just in my vest top and a very, very thin jacket.
And I'm the only one who looks like a road man. So
The only one who looks like the only one who doesn't fit. And yeah, okay, cool. We'll see you guys when we're in there. And we are moving. Check this out. And that's the venue, and it looks like something from a Saw film. So, not long now, guys. Exciting. Driving. And here we go, guys. Right to the fucking front. Let's go. And I hate Tool. You ready, Lewis?
I'm always ready.
You wanna play the victim? So hey guys, there you have it. We've just finished the Bullet concert. I've been battered. Crowd surfers coming over, absolutely beating the ever-living hell out of me. Paul Lewis ended up having to go to the back because you just couldn't move in there. You literally couldn't move. Bleed From Within, fucking awesome.
They were the best there, by the way.
Yep. And then Tesseract were interesting.
Let's just say it went on a little bit longer than I like.
Yeah, I think it was just one long song they played.
Yeah, there was no end, was there?
And then I met a couple of people there that met a couple of you guys, which is really cool as well. One guy in particular, if you see this, you know who you are, and it's an absolute pleasure. You were with me through the gig. And yeah, Bullet, of course, were just fucking awesome. I had a blast. So yeah, I'm gonna go home and let it all sink in.
And remember, guys, the high notes.
You love Tesseract, you really did.
Oh, yeah.
Catch you guys later.